What's up, Cowboys Nation? Welcome back to Cowboys News TV, your home for the latest news, analysis, and updates on our beloved Dallas Cowboys. I'm Dave, and today we're diving into an exciting topic, those game-changing wins that can shift an entire season. That's exactly what we witnessed in Week 5 when our Cowboys pulled off a thrilling 20-17 victory over the Pittsburgh Steelers. It wasn't perfect by any stretch, but sometimes, it's those gritty, hard-fought wins that truly define a season. But before we dive into all the juicy details, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. We're on a mission to reach 12,000 subscribers, and your support means the world to us. Help us hit that goal by subscribing today. Now, let's get into it. There's a lot to unpack from this victory over the Steelers, so stick with me, Cowboys Nation. Grinding out wins you're not supposed to have. Every NFL season is full of surprises. Some games, you win even when you aren't supposed to. And then there are the games you lose, despite everything pointing to a victory. Sunday night's win falls into that first category, a game we maybe weren't supposed to win, but we found a way. These are the kind of wins that separate a 10-7 team from an 11-6 one. They're difference makers. Now, Cowboys Nation, I want to hear from you. Do you believe this kind of win can propel the Cowboys to something special this season? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and while you're there, answer our poll: can this gritty win over Pittsburgh be the turning point for the Cowboys in 2024? Overcoming injuries, Cowboys show true grit. Let's talk about the adversity this team faced on Sunday. Injuries have been a major storyline this season for the Cowboys. No Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence, or Darren Bland. Even our offensive weapons, like Brandon Cooks, were out. Toss in Tyler Guyton and Marshawn Kneyland, who exited the game early, and you've got a situation that would cripple most teams. But not this one. How impressed were you with the Cowboys' resilience? Let me know in the comments if you think this injury-riddled win proves that Dallas has the depth to weather these storms throughout the season. Who do you think stepped up the most? The defense, in particular, was remarkable. Coming into this game, let's be real, no one was singing the praises of this defense. In fact, we were one of the worst tackling teams in the NFL. Yet, on Sunday night, we put on a masterclass in defensive resilience. What changed? You have to give some credit to Mike Zimmer. I know there were some skeptics, myself included, but Zimmer had this defense locked in. The missed tackles that had plagued us in earlier weeks? Gone. The Steelers had no answers for a defense that many thought would be a liability. So, what's your take on Mike Zimmer's impact on this defense? Is this the turnaround we've been waiting for, or was this just a one-off performance? Vote in our poll: will Zimmer's influence be the key to keeping our defense in shape for the rest of the season? Dak's rough night, but clutch moments matter. We can't ignore the fact that our quarterback, Dak Prescott, didn't have his best night. He threw 3 interceptions. 3. That's never a good thing. But, and this is a big but, when it came down to the final moments of the game, Dak stepped up when it mattered most. What do you think, Cowboys Nation? Should we be concerned about Dak's turnovers, or do the clutch plays at the end make up for it? This was only the 4th time in the Mike McCarthy era where the Cowboys turned the ball over 3 times and still came out with a win. Does that say more about Dak, or does it speak to the overall team's resilience? Let's hear your thoughts in the comments. The road ahead: ensuring a .500 record before the bye. This win over Pittsburgh was critical for another reason: it guarantees the Cowboys will enter the bye week no worse than 3-3. Given how tough things have been, especially with all the injuries, this is a huge sigh of relief. The next game is against the Detroit Lions, who are playing some excellent football this season. The Cowboys are even home underdogs going into that matchup, which tells you just how tough it's going to be. But here's the thing: winning this game against the Steelers, a game we weren't supposed to win, takes a lot of pressure off that Lions game. We've secured at least a .500 record going into the bye, which could be a game changer for this team. Cowboys Nation, what are your thoughts on this? Can we go into Detroit and pull off another upset, or are you satisfied with a 3-3 record heading into the bye week? Cast your vote in the poll and share your thoughts in the comments below. We've talked a lot about the resilience of this team as a whole, but let's give credit where it's due to some of the individual performances that made this win possible. Even with all the injuries, a few guys stepped up in a big way, and we can't overlook their contributions. First off, Leighton Vander Esch deserves a huge shout-out. He was all over the field, leading the defense in tackles and making key stops when it mattered most. With Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence out, Vander Esch showed why he's still a leader on this defense. His presence was felt from the opening whistle to the final snap. Then, there's Malik Hooker, who came up big in the secondary. With Darren Bland missing, Hooker's ability to cover ground and make plays in the defensive backfield was crucial. He's been flying under the radar for a while, but after Sunday's game, it's clear that he's someone we need to keep talking about. On the offensive side, Tony Pollard continues to be a workhorse. While the Steelers' defense did a good job of containing him for the most part, Pollard was still able to break off a few key runs, especially late in the game, to help seal the victory. The Cowboys' running game may not have been explosive, but it was effective when it mattered. I want to know from you, Cowboys Nation, which player stood out to you the most on Sunday night? Was it Vander Esch, Hooker, or Pollard? Or did someone else catch your eye? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's get the conversation going. Detroit Lions Preview. Now, looking ahead, we've got a tough matchup coming up against the Detroit Lions. The Lions have been one of the surprise teams this season, and they've got a high-powered offense led by Jared Goff and a stout defense that's been causing problems for everyone. If the Cowboys want to win this game, they'll need to bring their A-game. Detroit is currently one of the best teams in the NFC, and their defense is particularly strong against the run, which means Pollard and the offensive line will have their hands full. Meanwhile, the Cowboys' defense will have to contend with Goff's quick decision-making and the Lions' strong rushing attack led by David Montgomery. The good news is that the Cowboys have shown they can go on the road and win tough games, just like they did in Pittsburgh. But, can they replicate that against the Lions? It's going to be a tough test, and there's no doubt about it. What's your prediction for the Cowboys vs Lions matchup, Cowboys Nation? Let me know in the comments. Do you think the Cowboys can pull off another upset on the road, or will the Lions be too much to handle? Cast your vote in the poll and share your thoughts. Who's coming back? One of the biggest storylines heading into the Lions game is the status of our injured players. Will we see Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence, and Darren Bland back on the field? It's hard to say right now, but we'll be keeping a close eye on the injury reports throughout the week. If Parsons and Lawrence can return, that will be a huge boost for the defense. But even if they don't, the performance we saw against the Steelers gives me confidence that this defense can still be effective without them. Of course, having them back would be ideal, especially against a Lions offense that can put up points in a hurry. We'll also be watching the status of Tyler Guyton and Marshawn Kneeland, who both left the Steelers game with injuries. If they're able to return, that will help solidify both the offensive and defensive lines, which is critical against a team like Detroit. As always, Cowboys Nation, we'll keep you updated on all the latest injury news as it comes in, so make sure you're subscribed to the channel and have notifications turned on so you don't miss a thing. Is this win the start of something special? At the end of the day, Cowboys Nation, this win over the Steelers was a reminder that this team has the heart and the talent to pull off big victories, even when the odds are stacked against them. It wasn't pretty, and it wasn't perfect, but sometimes that's what makes these wins even more special. Now, the question is, can the Cowboys build on this momentum and turn this win into something bigger? The Lions game will be another huge test, and the road ahead isn't getting any easier. But if this team can continue to grind out wins like they did in Pittsburgh, who knows how far they can go. Once again, Thank you so much for watching and for being part of the Cowboys News TV community. Don't forget to smash that like button if you enjoyed the video, and of course, hit subscribe if you haven't already. We're on the road to 12,000 subscribers, and we need each and every one of you to help us get there. What's your final takeaway from the Cowboys' win over the Steelers? Do you think this is the start of something special, or are there still too many question marks surrounding this team? Let me know in the comments below. Until next time, stay strong, stay united, and go Cowboys.